Enrollment Magazine. We are just delighted to be on the beautiful campus of Benedict College, and we're even more delighted to have with us for the first segment of our show today the illustrious president of Benedict College, Dr. David H. Swinton. Dr. Swinton, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for hosting us here today. Let's just get right to it. I mean, this beautiful facility, lots of other things that are wonderful that are happening around this campus and all around this neighborhood. You know, Benedict College has truly transformed this community. Was that part of your vision to start?
It was, but I neglected to say when I was over there with the welcome, congratulations to all these fine gentlemen who certainly are deserving of this honor, and we appreciate you decide to recognize the men.
Yes. I told you not to go there.
But I did think it was part of my vision. I've been in the college business for a long time. I was at a number of institutions where the community surrounding the institution was encouraged, especially a lot of the HBCUs. And it always occurred to me that we should be doing something about it. We should be a part of the process that transforms those communities. If we say we have some knowledge that we're passing on to young people who are going to be leaders, then we ought to be able to apply that same knowledge to how to transform our community. So that's what we're trying to do. We didn't do it by ourselves. We work in conjunction with the neighborhood associations, with the city government, the federal government, and we caused quite a change. And also, I think the impact is outside of our school, but it's very important to our school. Our ability to attract and retain students and to have parents feel that their students will be safe when they come here. That's important also in the community surrounding the college life.
Now, Dr. Swinton, community service is what the IMARA Man recognition is all about. And students I hear who graduate from Benedict College are to participate in service learning projects. Why is community service an important requirement for a Benedict graduate?
Well, it's extremely important because we want all of our young people to be a part of the solution, not just to name the problem or point out and say they ought to do something about it, but we would like them to feel empowered to change and help transform the community they're a part of. So we started this probably the second year, a graduation requirement. Every student has to have at least 120 hours of pro bono service to the community. Students aren't going to go for that. You can't require them to have pro bono service. We're kind of stubborn guys. I said, no, we're going to try it. And the students love it. Many of them go way beyond that requirement because it shows them that they have something to give and to give back. And they are part of it, become part of the solution. So that was the goal.
But Dr. Swinton, you're certainly a visionary. What advice would you give some of the visionaries that are listening to you today? What do you think is the key essential ingredient to becoming a successful visionary?
Well, I think you have to believe in what you're doing. And you have to do it for others and not for yourself. Your goal cannot be self-aggrandizement. Your goal is to improve the world around you, to make the world a better place. And our model, we teach our students, their goal is to be powerful. Their goal is to transform the world. We tell them all the time that we're not just educating you so you can get rich and they want you to get rich too. That's not what we're doing. We're educating you so that you can make a difference in the world we're living in. Believe me, everybody who watches what's going on now know that we need difference makers in this world. And we see some of them sitting right out there, so we're really, and that's what we're trying.
That's a perfect segue, Dr. Swinton, into our next segment, which will be our first group of honorees for the IMARA Man Award for 2015. Dr. Swinton, thank you so much for hosting us here today, and thank you for the wonderful work you're doing, not only here at Benedict College, but across this community.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Well, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Become a power for good at Benedict College.
I discovered my power at Benedict, and now I'm
Teacher of the Year
for 2015 at Killian Elementary. And and I couldn't wait to graduate from Benedict College and become a powerful leader in the classroom at Arden Elementary.
We're also Powers for Good in education as the principal
and assistant principal at W.S. Sandal Elementary School.
Empower your dreams today at Benedict College.
Welcome back. We have with us today our first group of honorees for the 2015 IMARA Man Tribute. And these are some dynamic leaders indeed. I am so pleased to introduce to our viewership Dr. Henry Tisdale, President of Claflin University, Dr. Ronald Raines, President of Midlands Technical College, and Senator Marlon Kempson of District 42 in the Noble Country with South Carolina Senate. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, I'm telling you, I was reading through your stories in the publication, and you all are in for a treat. These men are really outstanding. Each of you have such impeccable records of leadership, but most important, service to the community. Each of you do. Why is service such a tantamount part of your leadership style?
Let me say thank you and thank IMARA Magazine, and also thanks to the Benedict College family and Dr. Swinton for hosting us. Leadership in terms of my leadership of Claflin University is very important. If you follow us, you know that we are about developing visionary leaders with global perspectives. That is what we do at Claflin University. And in producing visionary leaders or any leaders, it is important that leaders are not just self-serving, but are leaders for the community, leaders for the common good, leaders who are committed to serving and giving back. And that is why at our university, leadership, service, and service learning is core to the Claflin experience, and certainly in terms of students that we want to develop as leaders and great citizens of the world.
Dr. Raines, that same question. You too are truly committed to community service. I call you all servant leaders because you really are the definition of a servant leader. Why is that so important to you?
Well, thank you, and I really appreciate this opportunity. Also want to congratulate my co-honorees this evening. Service is critically important to me. At Midlands Technical College, we say you can get anywhere from here, and that's really important. It's important to me personally because as a young man, I had dreams of being something else, and when I found my way to Midlands Technical College, they really showed me the path. And so, because I know personally what Midlands Technical College can do, I am committed to making sure that others have that same opportunity. You know, when I look around this room and sit here with my co-honorees, I have a connection to Claflin. For instance, I served as Chief Financial Officer at Claflin, and many of the other people in this room I've worked with over the years. So service is critically important to me.
Thank you. And our politician, public servant, right? There is a difference between a politician and a public servant, and you actually seem to know the difference, and we appreciate that. Tell me why community is so important to you, so much so that you've offered yourself into public office.
Well, I appreciate the question, and certainly honored to be on this historic campus. Many of you know my father is a graduate of Benedict College, and in recognition of his work, the school named a building after my father, Milton Kempson, for graduate studies. And so he instilled in me that it is important to help somebody along the way. I am a lawyer, that's my profession, and so I was already helping people because I represent people who through no fault of their own have challenges and have been wronged by corporate America. However, when the opportunity to serve in an elected capacity came up by the vacation of a seat, I saw it as an opportunity to offer myself in a public way to serve my district. And since I've been elected in office, we have been championing the cause of the underdog, Most recently, we passed a body camera bill. It was a Senate bill. Took on domestic violence. That bill has been signed by the governor. I just recently got a bill passed in the General Assembly to raise the awareness about sickle cell and all of the sickle cell diseases associated with same. So I viewed it as an opportunity to make a difference and to do what I can to make sure that while I was here on this earth, I left a mark that would help somebody along the way.
This is wonderful to be here sitting with such distinguished gentlemen in our community. Dr. Tisdale, Dr. Raines, you have something in common. You both are presidents of institutions that you graduated from. That has to be a dream come true. How significant has that been for you?
Well, for me, it's been very special, and I feel quite honored, in fact, that my alma mater would invite me back to do anything. and to have that institution invite me back to be the leader of the institution, there is no way that I could describe what it really means. One thing I might say is that it gives me a sense of the need to show great commitment and to give back. And serving as president gives me a great platform to serve my alma mater. I know where it all started. I left the cotton fields of Williamsburg County to come to Claflin University. That's where it all started. Claflin gave me my chance. It prepared me and prepared me well to go on to Temple University, earning a second degree in mathematics, and on to one of the Ivy League schools, Dartmouth College, to become the first African American to earn a PhD in mathematics from Dartmouth College. So I know what Claflin can do. I know what it's done for me. And I just thank Claflin and I thank God for bringing me back to South Carolina and to bringing me back to my alma mater to help lead the alma mater and prepare leaders for the 21st century.
I agree with Dr. Tisdale. This is one of the greatest honors that a person can have. And it's actually extremely unusual for a graduate, and I've been a long-term employee at Midlands Technical College, and that's also unusual. So I really look at it as quite an honor. And when I think about what led me to this point in life, I was in public schools and I wanted to be an artist, and I love painting and drawing and those kind of things, but like many artists, you get confused in life. And so I was 3 years out of high school, and quite frankly, some friends of mine and I decided that we wanted to get on the Midlands Technical College campus to meet the girls. And once I got on campus, the faculty took hold of me, and I started to learn. And the more I learned, the more I wanted to learn. And that really got me started in this process. So when I finished at Midlands, I immediately transferred to Benedict College, and they gave me the next greatest opportunity. Most of my career I've spent as a chief financial officer, and also, which is a unique position for a chief financial officer to become president. You don't see that often. So again, that is quite an honor. And I actually owe the foundation of understanding business and finance to my experiences in my first 2 years at Midlands Technical College. So yes, I'm very, very proud of that.
Well, Senator Kempson, you had an interesting observation, and I think it stuck with me as I read your article. You talked about the ability to be an independent leader for the community. Can you define that, and then tell us how would you advise someone interested in going into public service to prepare themselves adequately to do just that?
Well, I think I want to answer your last question first. And so I believe that politics without economics is a symbol without substance. My advice to people going into public life is go into a profession first. Politics is not a profession. You need to earn a skill, trade, or practice and become proficient at that. And then develop an economic base. And then if you want to offer yourself for public service, that is ideal and great, because once you establish an economic base, you become less subject to influence by special interest groups. If you have to rely on special interest groups, you're going to carry their water and can exercise less independence. And so I did not run for political office until I became a partner at my law firm. And in that role, I was the lead partner in charge of a division. And now that division is self-sustaining with my leadership, of course. But that allows me the opportunity to exercise the conscious and articulate for the conscious and the moral fabric of my district, rather than whoever gives me the largest donation.
Say it again. Listen, what a wonderful group of honorees we have here today. Thank you all so much, and thank you for what you do. As we invite our next group of honorees to join us here at the stage, you are in for a special treat. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Become a power for good at Benedict College.
I discovered my power at Benedict, and now I'm
Teacher of the Year
for 2015 at Killian Elementary.
Because of Benedict College, I am now a power for good in educational administration as proud principal of Dutch Fork Elementary Academy of Environmental Sciences.
Empower your dreams today at Benedict College.
Welcome back to our special edition of IMARA Man Magazine as we continue to really get to know the 2015 IMARA Man Honorees. We have our second group of honorees, and they are just as good as the first. We have sitting next to me the Reverend Dr. Solomon Jackson Jr. Dr. Jackson, you all may know, is a philanthropist in many ways, and we're going to talk about those ways momentarily. He also funds many scholarships in colleges around the state. So welcome to the show, Dr. Jackson.
Good to be here.
And next to him is Dr. Maurice A. Lee, the 12-year-old. He's not actually. He just looks very young. Dr. Lee is a pharmacist and also a philanthropist. He has the MAV Scholarship Fund, also to help students get through college. And next to him, our youngest honoree, Mr. Tyler Gray. Now, Tyler, as young folks would say, got it going on. Tyler is an athlete. He's an honor student, graduate, and he's on his way to Harvard. So we have a great group here for this segment. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being with us, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You know, each of you places such a high value on education, as heard from your own introductions. Much of what you do, particularly Drs. Lee and Dr. Jackson, is help provide opportunities for students to go to college and pursue that education. For all three of you, why is education so important to you that you really have a commitment to the community?
Fellow honorees, and to God be the glory. When we look at today and see that what's happening, we all have a past, and so we have to leave that behind. But I believe Paul wrote to the Philippi church and said, forgetting those things which are behind, but we as a people, we cannot forget our black colleges and universities and leave them behind. If that is the number one goal we need to focus at, we got to remember what got us to where we are now. And had it not been for that, where would these leaders be today? So to God be the glory for that.
Dr. Lee?
To my fellow constituents, congratulations. Thank you so much for having me. Education is very important because it's simple. If without an education, you really can't do anything. For me, education was embedded in me at a very young age because during the time when I was 2 years old, my mom was attending Denmark Technical College. So I got my first taste of education from there. And for me, it is just important to instill that into our young people today because, as Pastor just said, with so many things that are being propagated by the media, with all of the stigmas that are being displayed in the media, it makes us look as though we are very uneducated, which I know is not true. But one thing that I will leave you is that knowledge is power only if we use it. Because a lot of people are educated, but they don't do anything with it. So it's important to be able to execute and show and speak and tell people what it is that you know, so that what they thought they saw is not what they see.
Well, education, like Dr. Lee, was also still at a very young age in me by my parents. I began school when I was just 4 years old, and throughout all of school, my parents stressed the importance of education and keeping your grades up. And I remember while I was playing sports, the very first speech that all coaches would give was, get your grades straight, because if you're not eligible, if you don't have that 2.0, then you can't play. But as soon as I would get home, my parents would make sure that I understood that 2.0 was not eligibility for me. If I wasn't eligible with their academic skill, then I wasn't eligible to play either. So they instilled that in me from a very young age. And I think education opens a lot of doors. I've seen that as I went through my last 2 years of high school. As I said, I'm going to Harvard next year to play football. And I've received a lot of interest and offers just based on football ability, but I never would have had the opportunity to go to an Ivy League school and have the opportunity to get such a prestigious education without taking education very seriously throughout high school.
Dr. Lee, you're an accomplished pharmacist, but I heard your journey was not an easy one. Can you please share with me what motivated you to push forward, even when it seemed impossible?
Sure. When I was in high school, I did not graduate in the top 10. So with that being said, I did not walk away with a lot of scholarships. And really had no idea of the financial strain that a student takes on when they start to attend college. That's when the IRS began to garnish my mother's check. So she was bringing home $60 a week and then taking $20 of that to give to a student, her child, so that he could survive throughout the week. So if you can imagine a woman bringing home $60 a week to try to take care of a household, well, I pledged Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And as a result of that, I thought I was grown. And so my grades plummeted. So as a result of that, I lost housing. I lost meal ticket. And so I had to sleep on the floors of some of my friends and then also utilize their couches. So as I matriculated through South Carolina State University, thank God, and the Medical University of South Carolina, it was important for me to give back through the means of scholarships, because there may have been another student with financial difficulty, but still had that assurance desire to obtain their degree. And that's how the whole community scholarship fund came together.
Now, Dr. Jackson, you are, by all accounts, multi-millionaire. And a lot of folks who have your means would not do some of the things that you've done in the community. You've chosen to give a lot of money back to schools, particularly HBCUs and beyond. Why is that important? I mean, why did you choose to give back in that way? Many people of means choose to give things other than money. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But sometimes people really need the financial assistance, and you chose to do that. So why that route?
Well, I view, first of all, the money as a form of services. It's just a blessing that God has put me in this position. And since God has done that, I want to bless as God has blessed me. And the Solomon Jackson Jr. Scholarship Foundation is set up right now so that if you apply through the Solomon Jackson Jr. Foundation, God will supply. And for that reason, we're here and we want people, and we want people who may not qualify for the major scholarships, but we are here. We don't mind reaching down to get the lower grade and blessing them with that. Education is important, and if you know the descendants of Ruth and Solomon Jackson, we're not the most educated. But God, through Solomon Jackson Sr., told me the little things, do the little things that mean so much. And so it's the little people that may not get the scholarship, get the big money that pays all the way through. But through the Solomon Jackson Jr. Foundation, it's the little things you do, you will be rewarded.
Now, Tyler, you've got quite an impressive resume, being both a student and an outstanding student and an outstanding athlete. I had the pleasure of seeing some of your games on the basketball court. And you say in the article that your parents always placed being a student first. And now you're on your way to Harvard. What advice would you have to other students?
I would just say take your education seriously as soon as possible. My first 2 years of high school, I kind of slacked off, and my parents got on to me. But luckily, I was able to pick it up in my last 2 years, and I finished with a 4.729 GPA.
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
And so be competitive in school and with all your classwork and with all your friends, instead of being competitive in some of the things that aren't necessarily so good that young people we like to get into. Be competitive about class and about school, because it may not seem cool at the time, but it'll definitely pay off.
So join me in congratulating our second group of IMARA Men for 2015. Our show today. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you learned something that truly inspires and empowers you. Welcome to the next